So as you guys know, I've been playing a lot of Elden Ring recently, and I feel like that makes me somewhat of an expert on dying. Because I've been doing it a lot. Ooh, that just killed me in one hit. And I do mean a lot. But you don't have to be playing a game developed by From Software to become an expert in dying. Most games have some sort of dying mechanism, but I think we can all agree as gamers that not all deaths are created equally. Some deaths happen in very noble and respectful ways. Some deaths are incredibly crushing and just hurt your very soul. But today, we are here to talk about the 8 lamest ways that you could possibly die in a video game. Now, because I know that you're not lame, let me know down in the comments what is the lamest way you've ever died in a video game. Also, while you're there, make sure to assert your non-lameness by hitting the like button and subscribe and hitting the notification bell so you get notifications for new videos like this. I also stream over on Twitch on Saturdays, Mondays, and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central Time, with Thursday being a community stream which will have a poll on the community tab of this YouTube channel. Make sure to vote in the poll and come check out my streams. They are sure to be filled with plenty of deaths, some of them of the respectful variety, but most of them probably of the lame variety. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get talking about 8 of the lamest ways to die in video games. Now, entry number 1 doesn't happen as much as we all claim it happens. But one of the worst ways to die in a video game, particularly in an online multiplayer game, is to die by lag. Now, it's important to note that sometimes whenever we die by lag, really it's just because we're not actually good at the game or we need to get better and we actually got out-skilled. See my video about the 7 stages of getting good at multiplayer games. But realistically, lag sometimes does get the better of us, and it is a terrible feeling when that happens. It's one of those things that truly is outside of your control. And deaths that are outside of our control and our skill level are really depressing. There's nothing more frustrating than being in a game of Rainbow Six Siege, getting ready to go plant the diffuser, and then you just start running in place only for you to drop dead immediately after. Or better yet, one time my friend Matt went in to go grab the hostage in a game of Rainbow Six Siege and started lagging when he tried to grab the hostage, ran out of the building, and did not have the hostage with him. Boy, was that a great time. It doesn't feel good, and I will also mention as an honorable mention, it's like a kissing cousin to lag, and that is going to be dying due to latency issues. If you're playing on a nice giant screen TV and you don't have that 1 millisecond refresh rate on your television, like someone on a monitor might have, you are at a distinct disadvantage and someone might actually see you before you see them, and those also don't feel great. But dying from lag or refresh rate has to be one of the lamest ways to die in video games. The next one on my list is one that I am very fond of from my Rainbow Six Siege days, and that is going to be dying via the team kill. Now, to be fair, team deaths occur in a variety of levels. There's always the occasional accidental team kill, which always makes for probably a very good laugh. And those aren't necessarily the lamest ways to die because you get some entertainment value out of it. It's one of those stories that you can tell your friends and you can laugh about, months in the future. Everyone remembers that really silly accidental team kill. But then you get to the next level of team kills where it's just almost out of malice. No, not almost, probably is out of malice. Because toxicity in video games, we're all familiar with it. Once in a while you get a person in your squad, and sometimes a group of people in your squad that either get mad because you picked their character, maybe they're mad that you're just not getting good as well as they are, or maybe they're just mean people, because guess what? Some people are just mean. And whenever you encounter a person or a group of people like this, it can really ruin your gaming experience. So much to the point that games have to introduce ideas like reverse friendly fire to counteract this lame way of dying. I apologize if this has triggered anyone that has experienced this recently, but it certainly deserves its own entry on the list for the lamest ways to die. Now for entry number 3, we have one of the most anticlimactic ways of dying in video games, and that is going to be falling off of a ledge or cliff or other high surface. The side of the map, you get the idea. And generally this happens when you're in just the middle of a really intense fight. You are focusing so heavily on that enemy or that boss that you become completely oblivious to your surroundings. I recently had this happen with Margit the Fell Omen and Godric the Grafted in Elden Ring. Both of them I became well accustomed to staying away from the edge. After one time I had him down under 50%, I think he was around a third, and I managed to fall off the side. Go check out the YouTube short if you haven't seen it. Additionally, while we're talking about Elden Ring, while I was beneath Volcano Manor, several times while fighting slugs or various other bats and other monsters, I managed to fall into the lava and meet, a very similar fate. Now, this is made abundantly worse if you're close to killing a very hard enemy, but regardless, it never feels good to die because you just decided to yeet yourself off the side of a map, or into a hazard. Again, you get the drill. But falling off the ledge, most certainly one of the lamest ways to die in a video game. Now, entry number 4 is going to change from video game to video game. And not all video games enable you to die in this way, but any game that has a survival mode of any sort, or any sort of survival mechanics, will include a way of dying from the elements. Now, there are several ways this can occur in several video games. Some games make it relatively hard to die from the elements, like in Kingdom Come Deliverance, you technically can die from starvation. But of course, almost every town has just some random pot of food sitting around that you can eat from. In the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, you can die just from being cold if you're playing in the survival difficulty. And let me tell you, that's not too abundantly hard if you did not prepare well and you're going, north of Windhelm. Fallout 4 could be one of the most obnoxious because you could be so well prepared for the elements, but then you would just get swarmed by a bunch of insects that increase your radiation every single time they hit you. If you happen to not be abundantly great at the combat, or maybe you happen to run out of ammo, which probably deserves its own entry, then just getting hit and watching that radiation bar go all the way and then dying from radiation, boy, does that not feel great. When Mother Nature decides to step in and kill you, it makes you feel a little bit better about dying to Margit a few extra times, doesn't it? Certainly a not super fun and relatively lame way to die. Now, for entry number 5, we have a way to die, and it's going to be different from different video games, and some video games do not enable you to die in this way. But something that almost all of us do is we have to test the game boundaries. Will the game allow us to foolishly kill ourselves? I don't know why we try this, but in a From Software game, we always try to walk off the edge. Is there fall damage? Will I fall if I walk off the side of the map? And if you're playing a From Software game, yes, the obvious answer is yes, you can hurt yourself and you will die. But this was a legitimate question back in ye olden days of gaming. A lot of games, just to save on performance, would not enable you to walk off the side. There was a protective barrier to protect both you, the player, from being stupid, and to protect the game's code from having to save you from doing something stupid, or display a death scene for you doing something stupid. But now with more advanced hardware, games are more than happy to open up that boundary and let you yeet yourself off and fall hundreds and hundreds of meters. Because the game can do it, so why not? Let's just do it, and yeah, you're probably gonna die. Sometimes you get a game like Borderlands 2 that doesn't have any sort of fall damage, and that's super dope. And unfortunately, it's games like Borderlands 2, that make us feel that we have to test this. But it is worth testing, because imagine my surprise when in Jak and Daxter in the Precursor Legacy, if I jump into some lava, it's instant death, and you become immediately just engulfed in flames and smoke. But in Elden Ring, a From Software game known for punishing players for making poor choices, I can step in lava and it is not instant death. I personally was shocked by this. And once again, this is enabling me to try more stupid things. Another example is attacking in-game authority figures and determining if they will become a hostile or not. In Hogwarts Legacy, you can attempt to attack any teacher and they will pretend like you've never even done anything. Go into Morrowind or Skyrim though and attack any random NPC or guard, and they will mercilessly hunt you down until either you kill them or they kill you. Or if you're a member of a Thieves Guild, you just pay off your bounty. So yes, testing game boundaries is something we all do, and it is most certainly a lame way to die. Next up on our list for entry number 6, we have being tricked by another player, a friend, or an NPC in a game into getting killed. Obviously, another topic that comes straight to mind are From Software games like Dark Souls or Elden Ring, and the little messages that are left on the ground from other players that say, there's a treasure chest ahead. Or here, try jumping off of the ledge in this spot where you won't die. And of course, that cheeky player has, in fact, led you to a trap or a ledge that, yes, will in fact kill you if you jump off of it. And gullible players like me are sometimes liable to fall for some of these little tricky messages that other players leave behind. But it doesn't just have to be other players that do this to us. NPCs also like to throw us under the proverbial bus and trick us into a very painful death. An immediate one that comes to mind is in Mass Effect 2. We are tasked with chasing down Morinth and Ardat Yakshi, who is known for mating with other people and in the process killing them in a, I guess, wait a second, is this actually one of the lamer ways to die? Now that I'm saying this, I'm sorry, where were we? Yes, Morinth mates with other people and kills them in the process. But she tells Commander Shepard, no, I think that you're strong enough. If we were to mate, you would definitely not die. And if you're playing this and happen to be a horny teenager, then maybe you're willing to take that risk. Or rephrase, you're willing to let Commander Shepard take that risk. Spoiler alert for Mass Effect 2, she was lying, and yes, you do die a very painful death in Mass Effect 2 from mating with Morinth. Is this a lame way to die, or is this an awesome way to die? Is this a controversial entry on this list? Let me know down in the comments. But in general, being tricked by players or NPCs, it's never, or okay, it's usually a pretty lame way to die. Now, entry number 7 on this list, I thought of a few specific instances, and they don't really go together, so I'm going to envelop them all in an entry just labeled carelessness. And this is different from falling off the ledge because this is, you were focused on something, you were doing something specific. And it's not dying to the elements because you don't typically intend to die from the elements. And it's not testing the game's boundaries. Again, that's something that's a little bit more intentional. But when I'm talking about carelessness, I mean reckless carelessness. If you're playing any sort of first-person shooter and you overcook a grenade, yeah, that is just wanton carelessness and you will probably kill yourself and it won't feel great when you do it. This entry could also be listed under testing game boundaries, but in Call of Duty, whenever you call in a care package and you're like, I wonder what happens if I step under this, and then you die. Deciding to stand under an AT-AT in Star Wars Battlefront 2 would also be maybe testing the game boundaries, but I'm going to say once again, that is just an abundant amount of carelessness. Or to capitalize on all of this, the biggest showing of wanton carelessness is dying because you ran out of ammunition. Getting into a firefight in any sort of first-person shooter and then running out of bullets and dying from a lack of bullets, it has to be one of the worst feelings in the world. And it causes another really bad habit in gamers, which is reloading after every few shots. Oh no, I shot 2 bullets, I only have 28 left, I'd better reload. And then you walk into where you die because you're in the middle of reloading. It truly is a vicious cycle and a viciously lame cycle of ways to die. Now, last on our list is going to be potentially the lamest way to die, and that is going to be whenever your controller dies. Or for any of you that are, I don't know, this isn't something that happens now, but old enough to remember, if you have a sibling or a friend that unplugs your controller and causes you to die in that way. Now, this isn't dying, but this has happened to me in Rocket League several times. I'll be playing, I'll be in goal, I'll be getting ready to defend up against a big shot. I go to jump or aerial and my controller has either died or disconnected from my computer. I had a similar case whenever I was playing Rainbow Six Siege on PC. I had a Razer mouse and hashtag not a sponsor because I can't stand Razer mice. It would disconnect wirelessly from my computer all the time and I was in the middle of a firefight and my mouse just disconnected from the Bluetooth and I died a horrible death. And of course, this could be like lag where you blame it on your controller, but for those people that really do die because their controller happens to die, it is a terrible feeling. And not only is it a terrible feeling, but if you're not in the middle of a firefight, you've got that rush of adrenaline. Can I find a cord really, really fast to plug in my controller? You're running frantically all over the house to try to get back so you can save your squad. And then alas, you just plug it in, you turn it on, and then you die. It's one of the worst feelings ever. It also feels terrible when you're playing a couch co-op game with a sibling or friend. Maybe you're thrashing them in a game of James Bond, Nightfire, or GoldenEye. And they get mad, they really want to win, so they just unplug your controller real quick and then shoot you. This has probably started more fistfights that mothers had to break up than anything else in the video gaming world. I one time had a stepbrother that got so mad at me because I was using the same combo in him in Star Wars Episode 3 that he actually knocked the controller out of my hand, unplugged it, threw it across the room, and then decided to kill me. I mean, get good, learn how to counter, bro. It's not my fault that you're bad. But in any case, controllers dying or controllers being unplugged, super lame ways to die. All right, so that'll do it for us. 8 of the lamest ways to die. Have you died in any of these ways, or can you think of a completely different lame category that I didn't think of? Let me know down in the comments below. And once again, because you're not lame, hit that like button, subscribe, and the notification bell so you get notifications for any new videos and live streams. Don't forget that I stream on Twitch on Saturday, Monday, and Thursday. Make sure to go over there and follow me. All of these streams are at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in a later video. Have a good one.